If you've got ugly gaps around countertops, backsplashes, or cabinets, you can fix them fast with a few cool tools. It's easy, and it's coming right up.
Knock, knock. Who's there? ToolGirl.
Sometimes you freshly paint a room, everything looks great, you put the stuff back on the shelves, but then somebody who's new, who comes into the room for the first time, maybe wants to buy the house, maybe it's for sale, they're going to see certain imperfections and their eye is going to be pulled away and it's distracting. And here's a great example. Look at this big crack. This makes this whole shelf unit look really amateur and cheesy. So I'm going to fix it. It should have probably been done before all the stuff went back on the shelf. So I'm going to try to not pull any of it off with a spare hip movement, because sometimes hips can get away from you. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tape. Why am I going to do that? Because I don't want the caulking spilling out on either side, getting all over the shelf and getting all mucked up on the wall. So I'm going to tape, and I'm going to use, oh, and by the way, this is great caulk. It's pressurized caulk, which is fantastic because you don't have to put it in a gun and squeeze it. I like it. Anyway, I'm going to use that in a second, but first I got to do this taping thing. So see that little tiny edge I'm leaving? That's because I want the caulking to adhere to the shelf with a little bit of an edge there. Now I've got my tape on both sides. I can clearly see the gap that I want to fill. And I want to share with you my favorite little tool for these emergencies of caulk. This is a Caulk tool, and it was invented by a Canadian woman, and they're very cool. It's just like a little rubber spatula that's quite flexible. So when I've got the caulking in the joint, I'm going to pull this down, and it'll make a beautiful, finished, lovely shaped, sculpted little bead. This is a pretty deep hole to fill, and I may end up with some gapping, but that's okay. It's absorbing a lot of caulking, so I am going to have to do a second pass. Now I know, except especially on that higher up part there. This isn't too bad. Down here, it's quite artful caulking, if done with patience and candor. Okay, so now let me just show you how this thing works so that you get an idea of it. Look how nice that is. It pushes the caulking into the joint. It's beautiful. Then when you pull the tape off, you've just got this perfect corner. 3. Yeah! Whoopee! See, now look, these are gonna look really professional and good. This part gets a little tricky because I didn't really think ahead, but I like to live on the edge. See how it just disappears? Isn't that exciting? Okay, so look how much more professional that looks. There's the trick. Yes, there are a few little downsides because you get it all over you. Uh-oh. But here's my point. Use the tools, use the right tools. Use the special 3M tape, that's the best stuff. Use the pressurized caulk. Use paper towels everywhere you can, and use a little caulk tool that looks like this. You'll have so much fun. It's very pleasing. ToolGirl.